What a fight yesterday. But did you guys see Billy Joe Saunders storm Team Eubank Jr.'s dressing room last night pre-fight? This was absolute comedy gold from the Southpaw former two-weight world champion. He rocks up to the Eubank changing room, lingering around like a bad smell, and watch what unfolded as Eubank Jr.'s team went under sabotage from the BJS train. Check this out.
Robert, I've already sent her it. I've already sent her it. We've got the rep.
What's happening, Billy?
No cheating, lads. No. We want fair rapping, no cheating.
Yeah, you've got your team member.
Yeah, but what team members in there? Because under Connor's.
Don't matter what's under.
You're just sitting there. You're nobody, bruv. You're
no
an old
one.
big bouncer.
You're no one.
You're as well a big
You're
old
no
bouncer.
one. Oh, you ain't coming inside. I guarantee you that. You ain't coming inside.
Talking to like that. Only raise your voice. There's no need to raise your voice.
Why you calling me a no one?
You're calling me a no one.
Raise your voice. No one's calling me a no one. I can look inside to you, man. Look inside to you.
Write you up incessantly.
Guys,
Big man.
respect.
Oh, look at you standing.
Come on, we respect the fighters. Don't be coming inside. We respect the fighters. You know what you're doing? Guys, you know what you're doing.
Time to go. Thank you.
Do you know you? Do you know when you're outside? You come to me, big boy, and I'll splatter you on second. We're seeing you do. We're seeing big boy. We're seeing you. That's you started that, man. Let's see. We're seeing. We're look at you, silly boy. You silly fucking idiot. Nothing. Hands up the line. You fucking white. And I'll bouncer. You get paid. You get paid. You're Eubank's bad boy. Silly bollocks. You're Eubank's bad boy. That's all you are. Silly
So that was it. That was it, basically. You know, BJS lingering around like a bad smell. The guy deliberately went to Team Eubank to cause trouble. Do you know what I mean? He deliberately went there, you know, to not. He didn't want to go away. He was like an unpaid bill, you know, and Team Eubank were just not letting him in. And briefly on that clip, we heard, you know, someone tell BJS, listen, they've already inspected his raps. You know, Team Ben have already sent someone to inspect their raps. He just sort of nodded his head and still went in to storm the Eubank Jr. camp. He started an altercation with Chris Eubank Jr.'s, one of his managers, Napa Fitness, from Nova Sport. He started on the big guy. This guy is a man mountain. You're not the sort of guy that you want to start on. But yeah, he just tore into him, did BJS, tore into him, and he just created a scene as he loves to do. He loves being on the wind up. You know, he made it wilder than Deontay outside Eubank's dressing room. Literally made it wilder than Deontay, and poor Napa was showing the fury like he was Tyson Fury. You know, he stood his ground. He said, "You are not coming in here. You know, there's no way you are coming in here." And he held his ground. BJS then resorts to saying, "You are a nobody. You are a nobody." He starts telling him, "You're a nobody. You're a nobody." You know, which didn't go down well. He actually BJS offered the big man outside, "Come outside. If I see you outside, listen, you won't last a couple of seconds." That's what he said to him, you know. And I wonder if Eubank could hear all this kerfuffle going on and probably wanting to come outside, because him and BJS are certainly not on each other's Christmas card lists. You know, both guys have a real hatred for each other. You know, their history goes back a long way, back to that first fight with BJS getting the win over Eubank. Eubank just not turning up for the first 6 rounds of that fight, letting himself down, letting the fans down in that fight. Many tipped him to be favourite for that fight, and BJS really gave him a boxing lesson in the first half of the fight. Eubank came back into it with a series of, you know, piercing, fiery uppercuts. Had BJS in some kind of trouble towards the end of the fight, but he just left it too little, too late. And BJS and Eubank have been going back and forth since. Their rivalry's been going on for years now, absolute years now. But yeah, this is what happened, you know. So did Ben send BJS? Clearly not, because apparently there was an official rapper that did his job. But BJS was never going to pass up an opportunity to be able to annoy one of his old foes, you know, before a key fight. So, yeah, he was all over him. He was actually all over him like a rash, was BJS. And it didn't work. The plan didn't phase Eubank at all. But it caused an absolute scene. It caused carnage. And it adds more spice to what's going on. And it really made the fight night red hot, like chili peppers. But yeah, listen, who wants to see the BJS Eubank fight again? Now that would be crazy. I think we'd all love to see that rematch. But BJS has not fought since he broke his orbital against Canelo, in which was a really entertaining fight. He's not fought, as you can see, he's put the pounds on. You know, he's clearly been enjoying, you know, he's been enjoying his Christmas dinner in the festive period, and he's obviously been enjoying a tipple outside of the ring. Can he get back to fighting again? Probably not. Would it be a fight we would want to see? Absolutely, yes. The hatred between these two guys is absolutely immense. Listen, guys, what do you think? Was it fair play that BJS just rocked up there? Is it just gamesmanship? Is it just out of order? Should that sort of stuff just not be happening, threatening people and rolling up and causing a carnage and causing absolute scene? You know, what do you want to see that fight again? Do you want to see that fight again, or do you want to see this fight left alone now? And it's ran its course. So it'd be really interesting to know your thoughts. It'd be really interesting to know if you like, comment, and share. Let us know your thoughts on this altercation. It was superb. Also, even if you just want to talk about the fight was absolutely unbelievable. I do think that Eubank won the fight. He won it fair and square. So, yeah, just comment, like, share. Let's talk about this fight. Let's talk about this altercation. Was it out of order for Billy Joe Saunders to rock up like that into his rival's camp? Or is it all fair in love and war? And who cares? You know, that's what it's part of the game. And who did you think won the fight, people? Do you think Ben did enough to actually get a draw out of it? Or was it just a comprehensive Eubank victory? I think he was a few rounds up. I think the right man won that fight. I think that's fair to say. Yeah, I think a rematch would be fantastic. I don't think there should be a rehydration clause. I know some people will say that's unfair, but I think rehydration clauses are unfair. So let's run it back. I want to see this fight again. Like, comment, and share, and make sure you subscribe. Gunman Boxing, the baddest boxing channel in the UK. Billy Joe Saunders, brilliant stuff from him. To see him